In the headlines, motorists stranded as flood cuts off Bauchi-Baragombe highway. Northern APC women warn members against election violence. NGX suspends trading in shares of Ardova Royal Exchange, 7 others. And on the foreign scene, at least 5 killed in magnitude 6.1 earthquake in southern Iran. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Dozens of travelers from the northeast are stranded along Gombe-Bauchi Road after a bridge linking Gombe and Bauchi states collapsed at the entrance of Bara village. The collapsed bridge, which is about 42 kilometers away from Gombe city, has plunged people into untold hardship following limited services. Ibrahim Ismail was at the scene and files in this report.
This is the only road that links Adamawa, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, Yobe, and Bauchi states in northeast Nigeria. It is a major road for vehicles traveling to the country's capital, Abuja. Due to a heavy downpour last Thursday, the bridge collapsed and people are feeling the effect. Malam Abdul Karim is from Lariski village. His daughter is severely ill but couldn't take her to hospital on time. The girl is sick. We want to take her to the hospital, but no access road, and authorities should use their positions to repair it. Fear Allah and repair this road. Please, this is my message. We are in hardship. Other stranded passengers also share their sad experiences.
Seriously, it has affected my plan because financially I am. You can see how the thing is. Financially, I'm not that buoyant, but we just had to do it. People carrying load for you, you had to pay them. Just like the boy I carried now, we have to pay him something. So it has really affected my plan, but we pray that God help the government to see it and ensure. I know this government is a government that is ready to help, so they should just see what they can do to ensure they help.
My plan is to go to Abuja now. I'm stranded. I don't know that the situation here is like this. Somebody just called me and told me that this is what is happening at Lariski, or what's the name of the village, I don't know. We stopped at Gombe over 2 hours. We don't know the condition of this place, but look at where we found ourselves now, in a critical condition.
Now I'm going to remove my shoe and my trouser before I cross. You can pay money, 500, 700, 1,000 before you cross. So I'm begging for our government to do something about this route, emergency.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, said the road collapse between Gombe and Bauchi will have socio-economic consequences on the people.
The company handling this road, I doubt if they have able capacity to handle this kind of project. And solution to this problem is let government come up with a gigantic project of a bridge from end to end, whereby the water or whatever will follow under the bridge and move around. Unless if government did that, we'll continue to be having such challenges all the time.
A section of the passengers who can afford pay workers to help them cross the bridge. On the other part of the road, construction workers could be spotted trying to fix the problem. However, people say they are not satisfied with the capacity of the company handling the project, calling on Bauchi, Gombe, and the federal government to intervene. Due to the collapse of the bridge, the Gombe-Bauchi road that used to be very busy is presently deserted. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And one of the Chibok girls abducted by Boko Haram terrorists on April 14, 2014, has shared how she escaped from captivity after 8 years. Having fled the terrorist enclave in Borno State, she was eventually discovered by troops of the Nigerian army on June 29th. 2 days after, she addressed journalists where she narrated her ordeal in the hands of the terrorists. The victim, who gave her name as Ruth Beatrice, shared she had to trek for 3 days in the Sambisa forest before help came to her through troops of the 21 Armored Brigade, Bama. According to Ruth, her husband was killed by an improvised explosive device while he was trying to plant a bomb.
I came from Sambisa. I was taken there from GSS Chibok in 2014. We were 203 in April 2014. The rest of the girls are in Sambisa. The father of my son is dead. He died 2 years ago. He was a bomb technician and went to Plant 1 when it exploded and killed him. I left the forest at 4 a.m. 3 days ago. I took food that was able to sustain me and the baby throughout the journey.
Now, scores of children were found allegedly in an underground apartment of a church in the Valentino area of Ondo Town, Ondo State, on Friday evening. Sources say the children who were allegedly kidnapped and kept in the underground apartment of the church were over 50, adding that the police had rescued them and arrested the pastor and some members of the church. In a viral video, the children were seen in a patrol vehicle of the police who took them into the police station. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer of the State Command, Fumilayo Odunlami, said the victims had been taken to the Akure headquarters of the command. And to politics now, the People's Redemption Party PRP presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, Kola Abiola, is optimistic that 2023 elections will record a mass turnout of voters in the history of elections in the country. Appearing on Trust TV program Daily Politics, Kola, the son of the late MKO Abiola, also calls on President Muhammadu Buhari to hold heads of security agencies accountable for rising cases of security breaches in the country.
I think first is it's all about the determination and the will to conduct true elections. The elections we've had in the past has systematically alienated the voter.
Okay.
The voter hasn't counted much. A lot of our youth, the younger demographics, have always complained that they were never inclusive of the process. And even when they try to vote, their votes don't count. I have been an advocate in the last 2 years to drum up the fact that without that youth, we will not be able to change the electoral process in Nigeria. And thank God, to date, we're all fully aware there's a huge drive to register. And I suspect and I believe that the 2023 election will have the highest voter turnout in the history of Nigeria. There's a need for accountability. The biggest problem I think we've had to date is that nobody has been held accountable for anything. So we have attacks, we have negligence, we have irresponsible decision-making from authority, but nobody has ever been held responsible. We've had issues where so-called finances have been identified and nothing has been done. I don't know why that should be the case, but that's what it is. So the minute we start nipping it and holding people responsible, I think things will change.
Meanwhile, Northern Women Caucus of the All Progressive Congress, APC, has warned members against election violence in the forthcoming 2023 general elections. The group issued the warning while inaugurating its North Central PVC registration and collection, Women Inclusion in Governance Advocacy in Lafia. The report.
Addressing the women group in Lafia, the national coordinator of the group, Zainab Ibrahim, stated that they were determined to tour the 13 local government areas of the state and other states in the North Central Zone to encourage women to register for their PVCs.
To launch a campaign that is created to orient Nigerian women on the need to register and obtain their PVCs, desist from engaging in election violence, and contribute their quota towards the smooth and overwhelming victory of our party, the ruling party, and the greatest party in Africa, the APC.
Also speaking, the APC North Central women leader, Zara Audu, explained that it was imperative for women to actively participate in politics in order to create a gender balance in governance. Earlier, the First Lady of Nasarawa State, Salifat Abdullahi Sule, promised to support the women to ensure that they exercise their franchise during the 2023 elections.
And presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did not meet with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike in France, a spokesperson said on Friday. Reports had emerged online about a proposed meeting between Tinubu and Wike, a chieftain of the opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. But a statement signed by a spokesperson of the Tinubu media office, Tunde Rahman, described the report as fake. The federal government has inaugurated the White Paper Committee on Review of Parastatals, Agencies and Commissions created since 2014 to date. The committee is to come up with the White Paper reports of the committees inaugurated by the federal government in November 2021. Performing the inauguration in Abuja, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, explained that the federal government came up with 2 other committees due to the inability to implement the Oronsaye report. Responding on behalf of the committee members, a former head of the Civil Service of the Federation and chairman of the committee, Dr. Ebele Okeke, appreciated the federal government for the honor of selecting them for the task and pledged to ensure the implementation of the reports.
One of such efforts was the constitution of the Committee on the Restructuring and Rationalization of Federal Government Parastatals, Commissions and Agencies on the 18th of August 2011, chaired by the former head of service, Mr. Steve Orasaya. The committee submitted its report on the 16th April 2012 with various recommendations such as abolition, reduction, merger, and reversion of some of the agencies to departments and ministries.
And since then, more and more agencies, commissions, parastatals are being set up. And it's actually defeating the purpose for which government set up the Orasaya report. And that is why now government wants us to take a good look and make sure that we finish and have a review the report on the new parastatals and agencies.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, promoting cultural diversity. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Motorists stranded as flood cuts off Bauchi-Gombe highway. And Northern APC women warn members against election violence. And in other news now, the National Population Commission, NPC, says it will cover Daura in Katsina and 5 other local government areas across the nation in the forthcoming trial census. The NPC Federal Commissioner in charge of Katsina State, Bala Al-Mubanye, disclosed this while addressing newsmen on Thursday in Daura ahead of the exercise scheduled for July 11 to 24th. Jamil Mabay reports.
Sakataren wannan hukuma Alhaji Bala Mai Ruwa The National Population Commission has commenced a state-level training workshop in Katsina State for 1,230 field personnel to be engaged for the trial census scheduled for 11th to 24th July 2022. The Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, representing Katsina State, Bala Al-Mubanye, disclosed during a press briefing.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, acting on the advice of the National Council of States, graciously approved the conduct of the trial census for June 2022 and the next population housing census in April 2023. The trial census, which is also known as census dress rehearsal, is another key preparatory activity for the census. It is a process in which all census operations are tested in a detailed and comprehensive manner. This takes place as a matter of best practice about a year to the actual census date to assess the difficult scenarios that may be presented during the main census.
The essence of the 12-day training, which started on Monday, 27th June in Daura local government of Katsina, is to equip field functionaries with the required skills to effectively and efficiently deliver on the exercise. The 1,230 field personnel consist of facilitators, supervisors, and enumerators were drawn mainly from communities within the selected areas. He enumerated the specific objectives to include assessing the quality of the EA maps, determining requisite educational qualification for enumerators, estimating workload for enumerators, as well as logistics support for the main census, among others. Jamil Mobai, Trust TV News, Katsina.
The director, China Cultural Center, Abuja, Li Juda, has called for the promotion of cultural and linguistic diversity to ensure sustainable societies. Juda gave the advice in Abuja at the commemoration of the 2022 International Mother Language Day with the theme Using Technology for Multilingual Learning, Challenges and Opportunities. The report.
The International Mother's Language Day is originally observed on 21st of February yearly to promote awareness of linguistics and cultural diversity and to promote multilingualism. Shuda describes the People's Republic of China and the Federal Republic of Nigeria as multi-ethnic and multilingual countries. He says that the theme of the day will profile ways to unlock the potentials of technology, advance multilingual education, and support the development of quality teaching and learning for all.
To defend our national unity and boost our social progress, we must learn to seek common ground while resolving differences. We must uphold harmony in diversity to create a harmonious world with peaceful development of mankind.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says that the Ministry of Information and Culture had embarked on a series of research and documentation on endangered language over the years. The minister, who was represented by Ifeoma Anyanwu-Taku, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Culture, said the purpose was to prevent the nation's intangible rich cultural heritage from going into extinction.
It is necessary to note that language is one of the key aspects of a people's culture. Nigeria, being one of a member state of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, being the custodian of culture in Nigeria, has put it upon its shoulders to ensure our rich cultural heritage is well preserved with programs such as this one.
The Director General, National Council for Art and Culture, Otumba Roshewe, urged Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of speaking their indigenous language to prevent them from going into extinction.
And language is about four major components: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And today, you may not know the connection between this program and culture. Culture is the only thing that goes with you, come with you from your mother's womb, and go back with you to your grave.
Rushaweku said many people have lost their rich cultural heritage to foreign ones, urged them to emulate citizens of Bangladesh and China who speak their dialect as a way of communication.
Olori Kafayat, one of the wives of the late Alafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Olaiwola Adeyemi, is dead. Kafayat, who died barely 2 months after the death of the Alafin, was the fourth Olori of the late traditional ruler and reportedly gave up the ghost on Friday night. She was the mother of Prince Adebayo Adeyemi, who is the chairman of the Oyo State Local Government Pensions Board. Details of her death are still sketchy. And in business, the Nigerian Exchange Limited has suspended trading on the shares of Ardova, Royal Exchange, and 7 other quoted companies for failure to file their accounts as required by market regulators. The 7 companies are Niger Insurance, CNI Leasing, African Alliance Insurance, Coronations Insurance, Eco Corp, Premier Paints, and Mutual Benefits Assurance. The suspension, which took effect from July 1, 2022, implies that there would be no price movement on the shares because the company's investors will no longer trade on their stocks. A circular issued by the NGX explained that the affected firms were slammed for failing to file their audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2021. And the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has threatened to drag the management of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority to court over its purported claims on the payment of 74 billion naira transport claims to marketers. The management of the NMDPRA on Wednesday said it had paid marketers 74 billion naira within the past 7 months. The chairman, IPMAN Northern Chapter, Bashir Danmalang, who made the threat while briefing journalists in Kano, said the claim was not true, noting that IPMAN members were not paid unless the payment was made to ghost marketers. The IPMAN chairman challenged the management of the NMDPRA to come up with the names of all marketers who were paid to prove their claims. Danmalang said based on the investigation conducted by IPMAN, it was discovered that the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation had recently released over 70 billion naira to the agency to pay marketers, which had yet to be paid. Germany signed an agreement to begin sending hundreds of Benin bronzes back to the federal government, rubber stamping the biggest effort yet by a European country to return the looted artworks. Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock and the Cultural Minister Claudia Roth signed the deal with their Nigerian counterparts in Berlin after Germany first announced that it would begin returning the bronzes last year. Minister of Culture Lai Mohammed thanked Germany for taking the lead in correcting the wrongs of the past, hailing it as a dawn of a new era of cooperation. Germany has around 1,100 of the 16th to 18th century artifacts split between some 20 museums, with the biggest collection held by the Ethnological Museum in Berlin, which has 440, considered the most important collection outside London's British Museum. And on the foreign scene, at least 5 people have died and dozens others injured after at least 3 earthquakes with a preliminary magnitude of more than 6 hit the province of Hormozgan in southern Iran. 2 of the strongest shocks were registered at magnitude 6.3, but the one that inflicted all the casualties is thought to be an initial magnitude 6.1 quake at a depth of about 10 kilometers below the surface. The least 30 aftershocks were felt in villages and towns near Bandar Abbas, local officials said, adding that tremors were also felt in neighboring United Arab Emirates. The quakes sent thousands of people to the streets where they spent the rest of the night. And in sports, Everton have completed their first signing of the summer transfer window after confirming the arrival of Burnley defender James Tarkowski. The England international becomes Frank Lampard's first summer signing after running down his contract at Turf Moor. The 29-year-old could not stop Burnley from suffering relegation to the Championship last season, but will remain in the Premier League after signing up with Frank Lampard at Goodison Park. And now, before we go, here is a kicker. Graduates Anesu Mapisa and Emmanuel Marume saw that farming is taking off and they didn't want to pursue regular employment. So they bootstrapped a drone business that are now providing both commercial and smallholder farmers with services that save them money. Let's take a look.
We want to become a hub of all agricultural solutions, starting from the production side, the field, the distribution of food until we reach the market. So we want to cut across all the value chain of agriculture by bringing in technology.
We've been in it for about 3 years now. What we've noticed is that we've managed to assist farmers to apply chemicals in a more efficient manner and a safer manner as well. I believe this is where the world is going. Technology is there to assist us, in our farming operations.
I've heard about Takudzwa drone by one of the farmers on our group. I contacted Takudzwa probably 2 months ago, just when we started planting. If this works out halfway, not even completely, I will be calling them all the time for my spraying.
Just give it a chance, even on a trial basis, see how it affects your farming operations, your yields, and your costs as well. That's what I would just want to encourage farmers really to start looking at implementing this technology in their operations.
And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.